Hello and welcome back to another episode of Vintage Glamour. I'm your host, Key Michelle, and welcome back to the show. So what is going on, everyone? I'm very happy to be back here with you all for another episode, and I also hope that everyone is having a great day thus far, as well as a great month of May. Now, you all, before we dive in for the topic for today, I want to let you all know what is going on my end. I think it's important to let you all know beforehand. So I am dealing with some allergies right now. My throat is clogged up, scratched up. It's on another level. So if I have to take a brief intermission to take a sip of some water that is next to me, that is why, okay? That is definitely why. So I wanted to let you all know that beforehand, just in case that may happen. But I wanted to come through and do this episode because I actually, have been thinking about doing this episode after I wrote the article last week. And when I wrote the article, I said to myself, you know what? This has to be an episode for Vintage Glamour. This has to be an episode. So without further ado, let's dive in to the topic for today. So you all, the topic for today is be that girl, but embrace who you are along the way. Now, the that girl trend is really popular on TikTok. It actually originated on TikTok. And if you're not on TikTok, you probably have seen people talk about the that girl trend on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, right? But this is a very popular trend. And it's also a very controversial trend as well. And I wanted to talk about this with you all today. I thought it was very important to discuss this further because I have been seeing a lot of people make their own commentary about it. And I wanted to put, my own insight about it. I think I have a unique way of looking at this, and I think it's important to share. So before I even dive in and discuss my viewpoints and let you all know how I'm really feeling about it, I want to first state the definition of that girl, because I'm sure there are some listeners that have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, but they're tuning into the show. So I think it's really important just to clarify what I'm really talking about here and what that girl is really all about. So let's dive in. That girl. That girl can be described as a successful woman who wakes up early, meditates, journals, states her affirmations, exercises, eats healthy, always looks her best, always feels her best, gives off main character energy, can walk into any room and turn heads, and has the Midas touch when it comes to any endeavor that she puts her hands on. She is that girl that everyone aspires to be. Now, some of you all probably can really resonate with that. You're probably shaking your head like, you know what, this is describing myself. I can relate to this. This is how I feel about myself. And I think that's okay. I actually think that is a great thing. Other people might be tuning in right now, and you may be thinking, okay, that's cool, but I don't really feel that way. I don't really feel that way about myself. I don't really see that. And I think that is okay as well. Now, the description of that girl and the aesthetic, I should say, of that girl, right, has been causing a lot of controversy. So a lot of people are seeing creatives on TikTok make videos where they're going to the grocery market and getting really healthy meals. They're making their smoothies, they're exercising, they're putting on their face masks. And, while some women are finding this really liberating and really empowering and uplifting and, really feel really inspired to revamp their lifestyle to achieve what they are seeing on TikTok, other women are feeling like this trend is really toxic. This is a toxic trend. This is a picture perfect aesthetic. This is a Pinterest aesthetic. This is not real life. This is not how I really feel. This is making me feel envious. This is a lot of, the commentary I'm seeing from people that have opposing opinions about the trend. And I even found a YouTuber who was talking about how the that girl trend is really toxic. And, she wasn't being self-righteous about it. She was simply stating her opinion and just being really honest, which I think is real. I think it's really real when people are able to just express how they feel, in a really honest manner. And the thing is, though, because the trend is controversial, her comments were also filled with a lot of people that did not like what she had to say. They did not like what she had to say at all. And I wanted to read one comment so y'all can really feel the energy. Here's the comment. Y'all are so weird. Y'all literally calling a healthy lifestyle toxic because you are too lazy? How the hell is waking up early, eating healthy, exercising, yoga, skincare, and reading toxic? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Laughing my ass off. Grow up and just say you're jealous. It's a lot easier. This person was not feeling it. And there were some replies, and a lot of people were saying, I agree. I totally agree. Now, this was not the only opposing opinion, right? There were a lot of other people in her comment section that were also stating things, but this was like the comment that really stuck out because it got a lot of likes, and I was like, whoa, you are really, really upset. So here's the thing, right? I think it's okay if you want to be that girl. I think it's okay if you want to be that girl. If you're seeing people on TikTok and they're inspiring you with their videos, they're empowering you with their videos, I think that is okay. Whatever makes you feel happy, I think you should go after it. I really do. But here's the thing. I think it's okay to be that girl, but I think you should embrace yourself along the way. I think due to social media, a lot of people get really caught up in following all the trends that they see. And when you follow all of the trends that you see, you can lose yourself along the way. You're not expressing your own individuality. You're not expressing your own uniqueness. You're not expressing your own personal power at all, right? So what I'm essentially saying to you all is, what does being that girl mean to you? What does being that girl mean to you? And I have some questions here that I want to read to you all. And, maybe during the episode right now, you can kind of think about it. But I would definitely recommend to zoom back after the episode and really think about these questions, right? Really think about these questions. What is your higher self calling you to be? Who do you strive to become? What do you love about yourself and the woman that you are becoming? What brings peace and joy into your life? What makes you feel confident and so radiant about who you are? And now there are probably several other questions I could have asked you all, right? But I think it's also really important for you all to create your own questions here as well. And to really ask yourselves, how would I define that girl? What does being that girl mean to me? I don't think it's bad that people want to be that girl. I don't think it's bad at all. But I think that people really need to think about, okay, well, how can I allow my individuality to still shine here? How can I stay true to myself here? Because when you follow every single trend that you see on social media, you are losing your own personal power along the way. And now I know that it's not always easy for a lot of people to march to the beat of their own drum, but it's a beautiful thing when you are able to march to the beat of your own drum. You're marching to your own rhythm, your own vibe, your own tune, right? And I think that, when you follow every single trend, that can definitely cause people to feel really unhappy. And that's why I feel like a lot of people are like, you know what? This is toxic. This is toxic. Not only because they find it to be this picture perfect lifestyle, but because some of these people want to achieve this lifestyle and they feel like they can't. This particular YouTuber, she mentioned how she sometimes feels envious when she sees women come on TikTok and they show these videos and their beautiful homes, and they're eating these foods and the videos look so nice. She's like, wow, like everything just looks so perfect. It looks so nice. My home doesn't look like that. My body doesn't look like that. She found herself really thinking these thoughts, right? And this is why it's so important to ask yourself, well, what does being that girl mean to me? What do I love about myself? What do I love about my own routine? What do I love to do? What makes me feel happy? You got to ask yourself those questions. You got to ask yourself those questions because it's so important to embrace your own personal power. It really is. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this trend. But I can completely understand how people find it to be toxic. Because once again, it's a trend where everybody feels like they have to march to the beat of everybody else's drum but their own. And you don't got to do that. You don't even have to hop on every trend that you see. You don't. I think it's more than okay if women want to be that girl or that woman, right? I think it's more than okay if you want to be that girl. But what does being that girl mean to you? What does being that girl mean to you? That is what's the most important thing here. That is what makes this entire thing uplifting and empowering. When you're able to look within and say, okay, but what does this mean for me? I see what she's doing. I see what she's doing. I see what she's doing. That's all great. But what does this mean for me? What does this mean for me? Maybe you're someone that doesn't really like to wake up early. That's okay. That's okay, right? There was actually a comment that the YouTuber was showing, and she was like, well, a woman was stating in the comment section of a TikTok video how, I like to do a lot of these things, but I don't really like to wake up early. And someone replied back to the woman and said, well, you're just not that girl then. No, you got to define what being that girl means to you. You have to define what being that girl means to you. You got to embrace your own individuality in a world that does not want you to do that. I know that society really does not embrace when people want to be different and when people want to do them. I know that. But it's liberating when you embrace your own individuality. It's very, very liberating, you all. It really is. It really is. And we talk a lot about how one's personal style is a way that someone can really embrace their own individuality. But so is your lifestyle and your overall way of being, right? Your overall way of being. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being that girl. I don't. If you want to be that girl, be that girl. If you're seeing people on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere else and they are inspiring you, I think that's great. If you're feeling uplifted, if you're feeling inspired, I think that is a great thing. I really do. But make sure you ask yourself, but what does being that girl mean to me? How would I define this? What would I do differently? What would make me really, really happy here? That is what's most important in life. When you're able to ask yourself, well, what is going to really make me feel fulfilled, right? So I really wanted to talk about this because I know that this is something that has been on a lot of social media platforms. And, I kind of felt a little bad when I was actually watching that YouTuber's video, because you can tell she really wants to be that girl, but she doesn't understand you already are that girl. You just have to define what it means to you. And I want to let any listener right now, I want to let y'all know the same thing. You are that girl. You are that girl. Ain't nobody you. You got to realize that. Ain't nobody you. Nobody in this world. And that is an amazing feeling. It really is. There's something so liberating about that, to know nobody in this world is like you. That is your power. That is your personal power. So what does being that girl mean to you? That is what's most important. And also, once again, if this trend doesn't even resonate with you at all, that's okay too. If being that girl, what I'm saying, doesn't resonate with you at all, that's okay too. Whatever makes you feel happy. Whatever makes you feel happy is what's most important. That is what's most important. And I think that, social media is making a lot of people feel like, man, they have to follow what everybody else is doing. And you don't. You really don't. You really don't. You really don't at all. Be you. Be you. I was actually reading this book. This just came to my mind. I was actually getting ready to wrap the episode up, but this just came to my mind. I was reading this book called The Strangest Secret. And in the book, the author states how one reason why a lot of people do not achieve the life that they want to achieve or live the life that they want to live is because they conform. And when he stated that, I'm like, wow, that's too real. That's too real. A lot of people conform to what they see other people doing, what they see their friends doing or their family members doing, or maybe just society in general, right? They conform. You gotta be comfortable with embracing your own uniqueness. You gotta realize how amazing you are. You gotta realize that there will never be another you. There will never be another you. At all. At all. So once again, ask yourself, what does being that girl mean to me? What does being that girl mean to me? You can even take some time and write this down. And whatever comes to mind, stick with that. Stick with that. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. It's much better just to define what it means to you. So I wanted to do this episode. I really did. And I'm very glad that I did not have to take a sip of water. Because I wanted to make sure that I'm able to do this and not have to keep stopping to take a sip of water. I didn't want to have to do that. But I wanted to let y'all know a disclaimer. Because y'all, listen, I'm going to let y'all know some behind the scenes stuff. This is probably my 15th time. My 15th time starting this episode over, and I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not even exaggerating. I might be lowering the numbers. Real talk. This is definitely my 15th time doing this episode over. And so I said, I gotta get some water. This is out of control. So I was just drinking a whole bunch of the water before I did it again. And I set an intention like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this episode. And so I'm glad that, I was able to do this episode. And like all of the episodes I put out, my intention here is to simply inspire and empower and to get you all really thinking. To get you all really thinking. To get you all really thinking. Right? To get you all really thinking. I think it's great when people embrace their own individuality. I love to see that. I really do. I love to see that. I really do. I love to see that within myself, and I especially love to see that in others, and my grandmother was a woman that she embraced her individuality wholeheartedly, and looking back on it, that was definitely one of the things that a lot of people admired and appreciated about her. They really did, And even as a kid, I always I would just think to myself, like, man, this woman is like really unique. Like she's really herself, right? She's just truly herself. But there was something just so beautiful about that, something so beautiful about that. So, if you're someone that's been thinking, is it okay for me to be myself? It really is. It really is. It really is. It's a beautiful thing, despite what anybody may tell you, it's really a beautiful thing. So, before I wrap it up, I definitely have some announcements. So the first announcement, I just want to thank you all for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I want to thank you all for also checking out the website. There are new gems up on the site. I actually put new gems up this Wednesday and Friday. So there are new gems up, and I'll actually be putting new gems up every single day of this week. I'm just doing something new this week, so I definitely want you all to check out the new gems. And there are a lot of new articles up on the site. A lot of new articles. And the next announcement is, I think that's it, you all. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think that's all the announcements I have. But I once again just want to thank you all for tuning in every week. I really appreciate you all tuning into the show. I really do. And, I really hope that, the show only gets better and better with time. But once again, I really hope that this episode resonates with somebody out there today. And as long as I really inspired or empowered somebody today, I know I did something right. I know I did something right. That's really what matters to me the most. So with that being said, you all, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Vintage Glamour, and I hope you all have a great one. Bye now.